Hello, today this is a one take script and we are just reading some stories. So today we're going to focus on why winning the lottery is not always a good thing for someone's life. Winning the lottery countless times has turned into greed, arguments, drug use, and even death. So buying a lottery ticket is almost certainly not worth it because you either lose your money or it can ruin your life. So in today's cautionary tale, I'm gonna read a couple stories. So our first story is going to be a story of a man called Bud Post who lost $16.2 million in a single quote-unquote nightmarish year, resulting in his own brother allegedly trying to get him murdered. Bud Post won $16.2 million in the Pennsylvania lottery in 1988, but he was in debt within a year. He says he wished it never happened. A former girlfriend successfully sued him for a third of these winnings, and his brother was arrested for allegedly hiring a hitman to kill him in the hopes that he would share a part of the winnings after his death. After sinking money into family businesses, Post sank into debt and spent time in jail for firing a gun over the head of a bill collector. "I was much happier when I was broke," he said, according to the Washington Post. He quietly lived on $450 a month in food stamps until his death in 2006. May he rest in power. The next story we're going to read is about a woman named Evelyn Adams, who gambled it all away and lost it all in Atlantic City. She won the lottery twice, once in 1985 and once in 1986, just a year apart. She won $5.4 million combined, but it's reported that she gambled it all away in Atlantic City. She told the New York Times in 1993 that the publicity she received led to a bombardment of requests for financial assistance. "I was known and I couldn't go anywhere without being recognized and harassed." Our next story is about a man named Gerald Muswagon. In 1998, Mr. Muswagon won $10 million Super 7 jackpot in Canada. He couldn't handle the instant fame that came with winning it. He bought several new vehicles for himself and his friends. He purchased a house that turned into a party pad and often celebrated this lifestyle with copious amounts of drugs and alcohol. In a single day, he bought 8 big screen televisions. He also poured this money into a logging business that eventually failed. He was forced to take a job doing heavy lifting on a farm just to make ends meet. According to media reports, he hanged himself in his parents' garage in 2005. May he rest in peace. Our next story is about a lady named Suzanne Mullins. Suzanne won $4.2 million in Virginia in 1993. She split the yearly payments 3 ways with her husband and her daughter, leaving her with about $47,000 a year. She quickly found herself in debt. Her lawyer said that she shelled out $1 million for her uninsured son-in-law's medical bills. Her lawyer later said that it had been a hard road, and it's not been jet plane trips to the Bahamas. She used future payouts to take out a $200,000 loan with a company that served a specific market, lottery winners who needed their money faster. She later switched to the lump sum payout, but never paid back the debt. The loan company filed suit and won $154,000 that was all but worthless because Mullins no longer had anything at all. I'm going to be butchering this next pronunciation, but we're talking about a lady named Luv OneOrTwo, and she was murdered by her husband after she wasted all of her money. She walked away with $5 million in 1991 from a lottery, but she didn't tell her husband how she decided to spend it. When her husband Joseph, a gynecologist, found out that she had given $2 million of her fortune to a secret child she'd had with another man, He poisoned her with painkillers and eventually killed her. He was convicted on manslaughter charges and reportedly asked her family to help foot the bill for her funeral, which is disgusting. Our next story is another example of partying too hard. A man named Michael Caroli lived in quote-unquote the fast lane and lost everything. When he was 19, he won 9.7 billion pounds, worth about 15 million US dollars at the time, in 2002. But according to media reports, he allegedly had a penchant for crack, parties, prostitutes, and cars, and in 5 years, he had nothing. And last was known, he was a garbage man, or an ex-one, trying to get his job back. Our next story is about another man that just didn't know how to say no. A preacher named Billy Bob felt extremely lucky when he won $31 million in Texas in 1997. At first, his life was awesome. He quit his job, bought 7 homes, traveled to Hawaii, and bought a bunch of new cars. He was even reportedly a bit of a philanthropist, donating 480 turkeys to the poor. But he just didn't know how to say no when people asked for money from him. He ran into financial trouble with a company that gave lottery winners lump sums in exchange for their annual checks, but it left him with far less than what he'd won. Media reports in the Times say he eventually divorced and died by suicide. Shortly before his death, he told a financial advisor that winning the lottery is the worst thing that ever happened to him. May he rest in peace. Today's last story is about a woman named Denise Rossi. She didn't disclose $1.3 million in lottery winnings in her divorce filing. Thomas, her husband, was shocked but agreed to divorce her. During the proceedings, Denise continued to keep her fortune a secret. 2 years later, Thomas got a letter at his new Los Angeles home revealing the truth. He sued Denise for not disclosing, and the judge awarded Thomas every single cent. Even Denise's lawyer admitted that Denise could have kept half her winnings if she had been honest with her then-husband. Her failure to disclose was a fraud, the lawyer said. Meanwhile, Thomas Rossi is enjoying his $48,000 a year. Good for him. If it wasn't for the lotto, Denise and I probably would still be together. Things worked out for the best, he said. Alright, as you can see in the video, I'm finishing up with my stuff, doing a couple little things on the side just for fun. So, I hope you enjoyed today's video. It was just a quick tales. This came from an article. The article will be linked in the description so you can read more if this is a topic that interests you. I have some other sources where I could get more stories, so if this video does well, if you guys want, I can do more. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you can. It would mean the world to me. The name I did in this video today in both scenes was my most recent subscriber, so maybe I'll do you next because I shoot like 2 or 3 videos a day. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.